It seems like everybody's getting affected by the fuel prices that are out there. Now, this video is more for my number crunchers, my math nerds that want to understand exactly what it's costing them to run a mile for fuel. The cost of diesel is everyone's largest expense. Whether you are an owner operator, a small fleet, or even a large fleet, your biggest expense right now is fuel. Now, it depends on the kind of truck that you're driving. So I get a lot of drivers submitting their pay statements, and really at the end of the day, there's not a lot left, and I want to explain why there's not a lot left and where this money is going and how much of it is going on every single mile that you're driving. So let's get into it. Most owner operators and small fleets fall under these three categories: 6 miles per gallon, 7 miles per gallon, or 8 miles per gallon. Okay, so the trucks, flat nose trucks, I've even seen them come in at 5.5. But honestly, if your truck is doing 5.5 and you haven't thrown it out, there's something wrong. So 6 miles per gallon, 7 miles per gallon, and 8 miles per gallon. So the 6 miles per gallons, I would say, are the flat nose trucks. I have owner operators with older units, the 2014s, 15s, 16s. I see those coming in at 6 miles per gallon, and they are paying a hefty price. Some people like to hold on to their old trucks and pay the extra fuel, but we want to talk about how much is that extra fuel. 7 miles per gallon, I see more of the 2024s, 2023s, 2022s, 2021s. I would say the Cascadias, the Volvos, they probably fall into this category. And then you have your new equipment, which I would say is the 2020 4s, 5s, and 6, the Kenworth T680s, the Volvos, the Freightliner Cascadias. And then you have the 9s, which is, I would say, the exceptional trucks. But this is pretty much where the three categories of where I see most, I would say 80% of the owner operators and the fleets are running here. Now, what is the difference in a mile that you're driving? So if your truck is over here, the national average today is $5.35 per gallon is the price right now. And I'll do the conversions for my Canadian friends also. But $5.35 per gallon, even as a Canadian fleet, we pay US dollars and we monitor all of our trucks on miles per gallon. So $5.35 divided by 6, it's costing an owner operator 89 cents to run 1 mile. If your truck is consuming 7 miles per gallon, you basically take that $5.35, divide that by 7 miles per gallon, we're talking about 76 cents, 0.76 cents. And then we have the 8 miles per gallon, which is more like, you know, the newer Cascadias. Our fleet is about 8, 8.5, 8.7, but even at 8, you take 5.35, divide that by 8, you're talking about 66.8, which is about 67 cents per mile, okay? So some owner operators are here and they're spending 89 cents per mile. What does that mean? So a long haul truck driver usually drives between 10 to 11,000 miles per month. 89 cents on 10,000 miles, that's $8,900 in fuel. Now, if you're doing 7 miles per gallon, that's $7,600 on fuel. And then if you have 8 miles per gallon, well, that's $6,700 on fuel. Now, the difference between this one and this one, somebody driving at 8 miles per gallon versus 6 miles per gallon, you take 8,900, you subtract the $6,700. You're talking about a difference of $2,200. So some people are holding on to their old trucks running at 6 miles per gallon when they could be getting 8.5, 9. They would have a lease payment, but at least they would save this. In today's world, and especially with the US prices, you thought the US was bad, Canadian prices are even worse at $2.10 per liter. And I'll do the conversion in a second. People can't seem to understand how important in today's world a battery pack and a diesel APU unit is. Because if you're idling that truck, I've seen trucks that are at 7 miles per gallon and I was able to get them to 8, 8.5 by stopping them from idling. How are you gonna stop them from idling? By having either a battery or a diesel APU unit. So when you're out there and you're trying to buy a truck and that truck with a diesel APU unit is $5,000 or $7,000 more expensive, or if you're thinking of investing in an APU unit, understand it's going to save you about at least $1,500 every single month by having an APU unit from not idling your truck. not only are you gonna save the $1,500 today, but you're also gonna save tens of thousands of dollars on repairs and maintenance down the road. Because after 5 years, if your truck has 9,000 hours on it or 18,000 hours on it, it makes a huge difference in your resale value. Now, before I get into the math, I do want to talk about our sponsor for today's video, the Fuel Agent. This product out there is going to save owner operators and fleet owners money on fuel. Have a look at this. Imagine never having to guess where to fuel again. Imagine your fuel discounts automatically being calculated and factored into every fuel stop. Imagine your IFTA taxes are already calculated before you even pull into that next truck stop. Imagine your app knowing exactly how much fuel is in your tanks, your fuel economy, your route, and then telling you the absolute cheapest place to fuel up along the way. Now, this makes a difference. Not just the lowest pump price, it's the lowest real cost after your discounts and IFTA adjustments. Imagine saving another 5 to 7% on your fill-ups just by letting the system do the math for you. And if you're a Canadian carrier, imagine your fuel costs being calculated after recoverable GST and HST credits so that you know what your fuel actually costs your business. Stop guessing, start fueling intelligently. The Fuel Agent, AI-powered fuel planning for fleets and owner-operators. Now, we're gonna get into my Canadian friends, okay? On average, $2.10 per liter. Multiply that by 3.78. This is the price right now in Mississauga, $2.10 per liter, 2.1 times 3.78. We are talking about $7.93 is what we pay per gallon, $7.93. And if you divide that by 1.4, which is the US to Canadian conversion, it's $5.67, $5.67 per gallon, which means if we divide that by 6 miles per gallon or 7 miles per gallon or 8 miles per gallon, let's quickly do that. Divide that by 6, you're talking about 94 cents per mile if your truck consumes 6 miles per gallon. $5.67, divide that by 7 miles per gallon. It's 81 cents per mile, or 567, divide that by 8. You're looking at 70 cents US per mile. Okay, so I already converted this into US. That's how much it costs the Canadian diesel prices in order for you to run a single mile. Now, I do have a beautiful chart like this that helps you understand your miles per gallon for your truck and the national average fuel prices. If you want this chart, I can send it to you absolutely for free to help you monitor and gauge how much it's costing you to run a single mile. But 2 things you need to do in order to get this chart. Number 1, you need to be a subscriber to this channel. And number 2, comment the word chart and I'll send it over to you. Hopefully you like this video. If you have any more questions on fuel consumption, you're more than welcome to put it in the comments. I usually respond. I'm Ronen, and I'll catch you in my next one.